to hack your body or not? That is the question I want to bring to your feet today. Here's the thing. Celebrity culture and social media influencers, they have women under a spell today. They've got so many women convinced that there's only one standard of beauty, and they are the gatekeepers. They are the ones who get to tell all of us what's acceptable and what's not as far as body type and as far as beauty is concerned. And guess what? So many of you are falling under that spell, so much so that as a fitness professional, one of the things that I question is that have we become so wimpy in society that everything we do requires instant gratification, including your fitness goals? Some of you don't have the gumption to stick it out, to work out, to show up, to eat right in order to achieve the body of your dreams. You see your social media feeds and you want to look like the women that we're told are the top of the food chain, when really the reason why they're there is because of tons of makeup and surgeries. And now you're left wondering, should you defy nature and genetics to fit into a box of perfection, a reality that isn't even reality at all? Did you know that the number one deadliest plastic surgery is the BBL? It is also one of the most sought after surgeries for women from around the globe. Are you one of those women? Are you right now trying to figure out whether or not you should show up in the gym, or if the only thing that you can do for yourself to change your body is to go under the knife, to travel miles and miles, thousands of miles, different countries, to find a suitable doctor to do it for you for the cheap? There's a lot of stuff that isn't talked about when it comes to this body modification game, and I want to rip off the Band-Aid today and give you a dose of reality and some things to think about if this is on your mind. Surgery versus the gym, what should you do? Now, today's conversation was indeed inspired by a meme that I saw on my social media. I want to go ahead and bring this up to you so you can check this out as well. So I posted this on the community tab and we had such a great conversation that I knew that doing a full video on this is so crucial. I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see this meme pop up, and here's what it says: our goals are different, which is totally cool. That's fine. Our goals are different. The results I want don't come from your little gym. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. Surgery body versus the gym body. And here's what this person had to say. They have pretty round hips and hip dips are gone. Versus the gym body, where they say, where are those hip dips? They swore would just magically disappear with working out. Why are those hip dips still there? Where are the beautiful curvy hips? The girls don't have it because they work out, and the only way you're going to get the hip dips gone is by surgery. You know, listen, I got to talk about this hip dip thing for a minute, because to be honest with you, this is like a new phenomenon that started to happen over the last couple of years, particularly as the BBLs and the Kim Kardashian bodies got really popular on social media and within our culture, especially the media and celebrity culture. So many of you are out there trying to change what's normal when you actually have muscle, when you actually are athletic. And I understand for a lot of women that may not be the aesthetic that you want to go for. And by all means, when you have to change your body because you want to defy what genetics can give you, then sure, perhaps going under the knife is okay. But there are a couple of things that women are not thinking about. And I went ahead and I brought that up in the comment that I made on the post that I put onto my YouTube. And here's what I want you to consider before we really get into the meat of this conversation today. And that is this. Ladies, don't let these Insta thoughts fool you with nonsense. Does the person creating this meme think this body will stay like this by the time they're 40 and or post kids? Because they are up for a rude awakening. And when they find out that father time will ravish that with age, just like it does with anyone, oh boy, aren't they in for a big shock. The difference is that when you actually work out and get in that gym, he's far less harsh and you'll look younger for longer. I've already warned you, their logic is flawed. Their obsession with body modification under the knife has killed many and leave even more scrambling to keep up with a hypersexualized culture where celebrities tell them when their bodies are trendy or not. That is the meat and potatoes that I want to go ahead and get into today, that I want to go ahead and thrust upon you to ask you, what does all of this mean to you? I talk about on my channel a lot of things, but one of the things that I'm really big on is this whole thing about our obsession with the physical body. But not only that, our obsession with sexualizing and objectifying the body. And to me, that's what's at the heart of all of this. This body that these women want to achieve are not even genetically normal. And that's where we start having these conversations about, well, Roxy, sure, I might want to work out and that's great, but I can't achieve this look. But let's break down what this look is. The surgery body on the left over here with the small waist and the big hips in proportion to the body and these tiny little legs, quite frankly, to me, look deformed. I just can't for the life of me understand why anyone would want to have this as the main body. But the other thing is, listen, if that's your boat, that's your boat. But the one thing that we don't talk about is that most of the women promoting this are young. They're young women. The woman who is in this photograph, just looking at her skin, looking at the body shape, of course, there's some Photoshop in here, is probably someone no more than in her 20s. Maybe if she's a lucky girl, she's in her 30s, right? But we are in such a time in society where we are just youth obsessed with everything. So we're not even thinking about the fact that you can have this surgery body, but guess what doctors will even tell you when you go for surgery? You got to go to the gym, you got to work out, you got to actually upkeep this. So although you can't have this body in our little gym, you need to be in that little gym in order to keep it. And that's one of the things that so many women don't think about when they undergo these treatments. Now, what are some of the things? If you're someone who wants to do this, I'm not going to knock you. You do what you want to do. You're going to do it anyway. But the thing that you have to keep in mind is that this has to be a lifestyle no matter what. So at the end of the day, you can't avoid the gym. So for my ladies who are out there wondering, Roxy, this sounds great and all, but what should I do? I think that, look, you're right. But to be honest with you, I've got this flab on my arms. I got this stomach that I can't seem to get rid of. I got this stubborn fat that won't move. So what am I supposed to do? I've decided to go ahead and go with the surgeries. Here is my recommendations. I got 3 things I want you to consider if you're deciding on this. Now, for my ladies who have undergone surgery before, this is not a knock on you, but let's be honest here. How long has it been since your surgery? How many years? And since you've done that and gone on under the knife, would you actually say that you don't have to do anything to maintain that? I want you to go down below and post your comments honestly. Because a majority of you who have had surgeries done, you know the work it takes to maintain the changes that you've had. This is not just something that's just poof and forever, right? Let's have an honest conversation about it. Post that down below. Now let's go into 3 things that I want you to consider if surgery is on the docket for you. And the first thing is this. You must maintain your weight even after you have reached that goal, even after you've gone under the knife, you've recovered, and you got that body. You're going to have to make sure that you don't gain any extra weight. Here's what happens to the body when you remove that fat. So if we were to go back and just take a look at the surgical body, all right, likely what this young woman had done, or this woman rather, I don't know how old she is, what she likely had done was have the fat taken off of her waistline and the fat taken off of her belly, probably some other areas on her body as well, and then put all of that body fat into the hips. And if she had a BBL, which is probably what she did as well, she went ahead and put that into her backside. But you know what happens when you do that? Sure, you're going to go ahead and change that body. But whenever you do gain body fat, it's going to come into those areas in which you moved the fat to. So just because you take the fat out and you displace it somewhere else, it doesn't mean that you're magically never going to gain weight again. You will. And when you do, it's going to be in those areas in which you placed those fat cells. And that's something to think about. A lot of women don't really consider or understand that this stuff is not permanent. Even the surgeries that you have that seem like they are, that displace body fat, it's not permanent because it all depends on how you take care of yourself at the end of the day. And if you're someone who is so hell-bent on not going to the gym and doing it by surgery alone, honey, you are setting yourself up for disaster. Now, I will say that there are some genetic things that you guys might consider to say yes to surgery. If you're trying to change your body to get bigger breasts, of course, you're going to be able to get bigger boobs in the gym. So the only way that you're going to do that is by going under the knife and having a breast augmentation. If you're trying to completely change your body from being an apple shape to a pear shape, sure, you're going to have to go ahead and go under the knife for that. But before that you do this, ladies, the one thing that I say is to make sure that you establish that healthy lifestyle. Try to lose as much weight as you reasonably can. Try to see if you can push your body to change your body as much as you can naturally. And then, only then, after you've done the work, should you even consider these surgeries, particularly because they're so dangerous. And let's face it, a lot of you can't even afford the surgeries that you want to have. So you're saving your money and you're going overseas to these doctors who are time and again killing patients because of their negligence. You don't want that to be you. You want to move smarter. You want to be smarter. The next thing that you've got to consider in this game, ladies, is that age defies no one. So no matter if you've had these surgeries or not, you will not be able to defy Father Time. He's coming for us all. Skin will sag, dimples will form, and you'll start to see things on your body that you may not like, that even with all the surgeries in the world, you can't cover up. And that's one of the biggest conversations that I'm always passionate about here. Our culture today villainizes women for getting older. They make us feel like there's something wrong with us because we had the audacity to live. We had the audacity to grow old. Ladies, I want to tell you to embrace yourself no matter your age. And yes, you're going to have little wrinkles here and there. You might have some dimples here and there as well. But if you go ahead and you put fitness at the forefront of everything that you do, it won't matter. You're going to look good. You'll be able to defy Father Time. You'll be able to defy the pull of gravity a little bit longer than those who do not embrace health and fitness along the way, even despite all the surgeries. Look at the women out there in today's culture who are older women who've undergone surgery. They all look insane because here's the thing. Once you get one thing done, a lot of people can't stop. So where's the line? You're going for this tuck, this nip, this, that. But again, if you're not taking care of yourself from inside out, it doesn't matter what the heck you do. The second thing, or rather, this is now the third thing that I want to talk about is something that a lot of folks don't really mention in this whole entire equation. And we're going to get to that in a minute. But before we do, I do want to say this. Look, health and fitness is what I'm all about here. I'm not about giving you the quick fix. You've got to show up and do the work here. And if what I'm saying to you is touching you in any way, in any shape, listen, honey, come over here and work with me. Go ahead and make sure that you click the link down below, or go ahead and scan this QR code right now. All right, you can scan the QR code and we can make you have the body that you want based off of changing your body through nutrition, training, mindset, and truly just stepping up to the plate the way that you need to. Set up a free call so we can go ahead and talk about what that might look like for you. Now, ladies, I want to go ahead and finish off with this last thing. And this is something that a lot of folks don't talk about in this equation. And that is, these surgeries cost way more money than just the surgery itself, than just the procedure itself. Did you know that there are actually upkeep costs for some of these surgeries? Oh yeah, baby. Did you know that when you go ahead and you get a breast augmentation, that the longest that they can last is usually about 10 to 15 years, and in some cases 15 to 20 years before you actually have to get them changed. Before you have to actually start getting MRIs about 5 years in when you have the silicone jellies. These devices are not meant to last forever. And of course, when it comes to the BBLs, when it comes to the nip tucks, the liposuction and more, you're just moving fat around on your body. So basically speaking, as you get older, when you have kids, even if you don't have children, your body will change over time. You'll gain weight and more, and that fat will sit right there where you newly placed it. Now you've got a whole set of problems that you never had before. Fat stomach. Sure, because if you sucked the fat out of your stomach and you put it somewhere else on the thighs, guess what? Them thighs and that booty is gonna get really expansive in the next couple of years if you don't take care of it. And the girl, what I had noticed with this particular girl as well, she's holding a lot of her body fat in that lower belly area. So if she gains weight in the future for this body type, she's going to gain weight right there through that middle, in addition to that hip area as well. Ladies, y'all are not thinking through. Y'all are not having the real conversations. Y'all are not showing up in the way you need to show up to see you have the body that you want. That gym girl, yeah, okay, she might have these quote unquote hip dips, but she has a body that will be sustained longer than the girl on the left. And that's just the truth. Here's what I want to finish off with. I don't want you to feel like I'm beating up on you. I don't want you to feel like, I'm gaining up and I'm speaking against or speaking harshly to women who make these choices. Listen, if you've already done it, you've already done it, right? But for those of you who are at that threshold of choice, there are not enough fitness professionals talking to you like this. In fact, many of them have had these surgeries themselves. Many of the fitness professionals you follow out there have had BBLs. They've had liposuction. They've had the cool sculpting. They had all of these things done, and they're not telling you, but they're trying to sell you fitness products based off of their fake bodies. And you're falling for it every single time. You're comparing yourself and wondering if there's something wrong with you because you cannot seem to get the same kind of results. That is the culture that we're in right now. And that is the thing that I'm trying my best to help you to see through, to have the real conversations with you, to make sure that if you make these decisions, that you're making them for the right reasons, not because you're trying to fit this mold. Like I said, a more hypersexualized mold. I'm going to get into a conversation in one of our next videos about an exchange I had with a celebrity that you might well know, who went through a process of explanting her breasts because she felt like the choice that she made at the time to have the surgery was more about fulfilling an insecurity in herself and a need to be more attractive to the opposite sex. And if you're going under the knife for that reason, boy, you have no idea how you might regret that later on, because that's a choice that she said she made and was one of the biggest mistakes that she made when it came to her body. So she actually went through to have her implants removed in order to feel normal again, to feel whole again, and to feel confident in her body again. These are the things that no one talks about. It's always the fantasy that's sold to you. And ladies, it's time for you to start waking up and to start going deeper with your why when it comes to your fitness, and to stop trying to stay up with everybody else's standards but your own. You get to set the standards for your life. Stay healthy, take care of yourself, and do everything for the right reasons. Add your comments below because I want to hear them. And then while you're at it, go ahead and watch this next video because I want to help you to embrace yourself along the way and have a bigger connection with the reasons why this fitness stuff is important to you. Thank you so much for joining me on this live broadcast, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.